Hi everybody, I'm Rockin' Robin. Today I'm making veal marsala and I'm going to serve it over a bed of pasta. Now I've been on vacation now for a little bit and traveled to Washington DC and New York City and ordered this recipe, this dish, 3 times, and I just love it. And I want to be able to make it at home and I want to be able to make it for you. So that's what we're going to do today. So don't go away. I'll be right back. So let's go over our ingredients and get started. Now what I have here is some veal scallopini. I got this from the butcher and it is really finely sliced. And that means that it's going to take only 45 seconds to a minute to fry on each side. We'll also need some cremini mushrooms. I have 1 small yellow onion finely diced. I like it super fine diced there. We've got some chicken broth, some Marsala wine. Now use a nice, good quality Marsala wine because that's really gonna, flavor your sauce. So you wanna use a good one. And I'm using sweet as opposed to dry. We'll need some heavy whipping cream. Now we're gonna use just a little bit of this just to kind of give some richness to our sauce. I've got some fresh rosemary here. And what you wanna do there is go ahead and peel the leaves off of, say, 1 stem and finely chop that up. And I have about 1/2 teaspoon there. We'll need some fresh lemon, some fresh garlic. I have that's minced. We'll need some fresh Parmesan cheese, some unsalted butter. I have some salt, and I'm using kosher salt for this. A little bit of pepper. Here I've got some noodles that you can use. Use your favorite, because I'm going to be serving this over some nice little bed of pasta. We'll need some fresh Italian parsley and some olive oil. The first thing we want to do is I've got my oven preheated to 200 degrees and I turned it off. Because what we're going to do is we're going to cook our veal first and then I'm just going to set it in the oven just to keep it warm. I don't want to dry it out or cook it longer. And I've got my frying pan here, and I want to mention use a stainless steel frying pan because you get those nice brown bits that develop when you're browning your meat. So I'm going to go ahead here and I'm going to put a little salt on the veal and some pepper. And I'm going to take my olive oil and I'm going to put about 1.5 tablespoons into the pan along with some butter. All right, my pan is getting a little hot now, so I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. Okay, when I get that butter in there to melt, and I'm going to take my veal slices and I'm going to just lay them right in there. Now these, like I mentioned before, are only going to cook for about a minute per side because they're so thin. So I'm going to add a little more salt to these. And a little more pepper on the other side. And I'm just going to wiggle them a little bit. Wiggle this guy so he doesn't stick. Like I said, we don't want to overcook these. We want this to just brown up nicely. All right, I'm going to flip that over. We want our temperature on medium-high. All right, we're going to go ahead and take these out, and I'm going to place them right here in my dish. Now remember, these are going to go back into the sauce after we make our sauce, so they will cook a little bit longer. So for now, let's go ahead and put this in the oven. Next, I'm going to add just a little more olive oil here to the pan and a little bit more butter. That's another tablespoon. Put that in there. You can see all the beautiful brown bits in here. That's where you're going to get a lot of your flavor. All right, so I'm going to add my onion to this. We're going to cook these for just a few minutes. We want them to get nice and soft and translucent. So we'll let that cook for a second. Okay, I just added my noodles to the water so they'll cook up and hopefully everything will time out about the same. The onions have been cooking now for about 3-4 minutes. And I'm going to go ahead and add my garlic to this. And just cook this for just like 1 minute till it gets fragrant. All right, and now I'm going to go ahead and add my mushrooms to this. So you also want to go ahead and salt the mushrooms again, because we're not using, we used unsalted butter. So this way you can control your salt. And we're going to cook our mushrooms until they release their moisture and they cook down just a little bit. So this will probably take anywhere from 6 to 8 minutes. The noodles are done, and the rest of my meal is not ready yet. So what I want to do is just give a little sprinkle of olive oil to them and give them a little toss. That way they won't stick together. You know how they do that sometimes? They want to stick together. So I'll just put a little bit of olive oil in there, keep them nice and loose until we're ready to serve those up. Keep the lid on, keep everything nice and warm. Now we're ready to continue on with our sauce. So the next thing we're going to add is our wine. So I'm putting the Marsala in there. Pour that in, and I'm going to turn the flame up to medium-high because I want to bring this to a simmer. I want it to boil a little bit. I want to cook down that alcohol. So I'm going to do this and cook this for about 2 or 3 minutes. All right, now we're going to put in our chicken broth and our rosemary. Let's put that in there. Give it a little stir. We're going to simmer some more because we're going to want to reduce this. Hopefully we can get this to reduce down to about half of what you see right here. So I cranked it up. I got a good medium-high on this. The sauce has been simmering now for about 8 minutes or so, and now I'm going to add the lemon juice. So I'm going to go ahead and measure this. You don't want to use too much lemon juice. We want to just add like a teaspoon, and it really, I've tried it both ways, with and without it, and I tell you, with, it just is so much better. So now you got to taste your sauce because we need to see if we need to add a little more salt. Oh, that's nice. Maybe just a pinch. All right, now it's time to add the veal back into the pan to bring it back up to temperature. So I'm going to do that. So here we go. Let's add back our veal. And if there's any juice left in this dish, you want to pour that back in too. We want to get all those good flavors in there. So I'm going to go ahead and pour that little bit back in there. And now I'm going to add the parsley. That's about 1/4 cup. And all we're doing here is just, like I said, reheating the veal back up, and we're just about ready to plate this up. So our last step is a little bit of heavy cream. And I like to add that. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I like to because it gives it a little richness. But you want to turn off your flame. Let's go ahead and do that. And I'll measure in a little bit of cream. And I'm just going to pour it around, maybe 1.5 tablespoons. Okay. Now, I'm just going to mix that in. Give it a nice stir, get everything combined, and we are ready to eat. Our dish is done. I'm excited about serving it up. So I got my noodles over here. We'll put a little bit on the plate. Put a little bed down there. It smells wonderful in here. Okay, so now I'll grab a piece of the veal, or 2, depending on how hungry you are. Oh my, making a mess on my plate here. Okay, and then I've got to get a little sauce on there because it's all about the sauce. Look at these mushrooms. Oh, you guys are going to love this recipe. I certainly hope you're going to try it. All right, so let me clean off that plate a little bit. And we can't forget to top this off with some fresh Parmesan cheese. I tell you, it really makes the dish, finishes it right off. I like a lot of cheese, as you can tell. All right, that'll do it. Time to dive in and take a bite. That is delicious. You guys gotta try this. I hope you will try it. All right, guys, if you like this recipe, and you know, like my apron says here, if you believe that my cooking rocks, give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you in the next video. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?